Hello, everyone.
Hey, there's Eva.
I am your hostess
Hello.
for this afternoon, or it's this evening, or whatever, wherever you are. How is everyone?
Groovy.
Good.
Hi.
Groovy. Hi.
Leaning over.
Oh, okay.
Let's look for the picture upper right.
Oh, okay. I'm not used to these phones. That light is too bright, dear. Me. Anyway, good seeing. Nice talking to Scott. Yeah, it's a little better. Okay.
Terri, are you there? I thought that might be her on the phone.
Hello,
Danielle,
Eva.
can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, Thorin.
Hey,
Howdy.
I saw Owen.
Yep.
Hey, brother.
What's
Good to
going
see
on?
you. You're
How you
looking
been,
more and more like your dad. It's good to see your face,
Hi,
man.
Terri.
Hey, Scott.
Your picture should be on there.
Okay. Danielle, can you hear me? Or is that Thorin?
I can hear. Hi.
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard Thorin yet.
Oh, I thought I did.
Matt
Thorin.
wanted to say hi too.
Matt, you're here. Beautiful.
When do we move in?
Where?
Your place.
No, wait.
We're
Hey,
supposed to come out there.
you have no idea. That house we had. So get this. My mother-in-law, she's 90. God bless her. I hope she lives to 100. But she could not downsize into our house. So since we were empty nesters, we downsized into her house. So Jill and I have a 1,500 square foot apartment underneath a senior home that's breathtakingly beautiful, and Ethel feels like she lives in Florida and is on vacation every day of her life. So, but we do have 2 rooms and 2 extra bathrooms upstairs. So anybody coming to DC that's a friend of Leonard's or Terri's, you are welcome to stay here. We have room. And we're 35 minutes from the nation's capital. You can go see anything from here. It's a beautiful place to be, but I can't offer any more rooms for people in the current moment. Once Jill and I are down to top sale and have a beach home, then we'll be able to offer move-in accommodations.
I'm just teasing, buddy.
That sounds like doo-doo.
Oh no.
Okay. Do
There
we
she
have
is.
Thorin here yet?
Terri, you're in a car.
I am on my garage pizza. I'm keeping it local. Len would want me to keep going on like what you used to do. So I'm doing it.
Nice.
Friday night.
Yeah, in the dark yet.
There's Nelly.
Okay. And this is being recorded. So just so everybody knows, there were people that couldn't make it.
Unfortunately.
Yes. So I have one caller that I'm asking to unmute. Is that Thorin? Where'd Yvette go? Oh, Yvette is, do you know, is that Thorin? Is he calling in?
That's not his number.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've
Wow.
sent out a lot of invites today, so it's possible it could be any one of them. So I ask who's coming in.
Okay, well, I'm asking to unmute and they're not doing it, so.
What do they look like?
Did
It
any
doesn't,
names
it's
come
just a
across?
phone. Oh, they've unmuted. Hello, who's calling in?
Oh, that's
It's
Brooke.
Brooklyn.
Oh.
I had my phone on mute because I didn't want any other background noise.
Oh, okay, well, you don't have to mute it yet. We are gonna ask though that once everybody starts speaking, if you all could please mute yourselves. And like I said, I am recording this for everybody that didn't show up. And you're gonna have to bear with me. This is my first time hosting a meeting. Usually I just sit back and black out my screen so no one can see me and do my thing.
Hey, Matt.
Hi, Phil.
Hey,
Oh, Let's see, this thing's moving too fast.
That's Matt, another mutual friend down here.
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Are
wanna
we
see-
expecting to see
Hello,
Laura?
Phil.
I want to see Terry.
Phil,
it like
can you hear me?
Hold it like this, like this.
Phil, can you hear me?
Yes,
Philip?
we can hear you. You
Phil
in
cannot hear
California?
me. Can you hear me now, Phil?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Hey, oh, hey, is that Eva?
That is.
Eva, oh my gosh, it's so nice to see
How you doing, honey?
Holy smokes. Yeah, good, good. I'm
Good.
surprised I got in so easily. Tech always screws me up.
Oh, see, I'm good at this.
Yeah,
It's
well,
it's
obviously.
my first
Yeah.
one. Are you
Is
kidding?
Terry next to you?
What's that?
Terry's next to you, I
Oh,
think.
no.
Oh, wait.
Terry's in her car in Florida. I'm in California.
Oh, right. No, I mean, oh, okay. Okay, I'm going.
She's next to you
Terry.
on his screen.
Oh, okay.
Is
Yeah,
that
He
I'm
apparently
not
has
pleased, though.
grid view.
So we're just
Scott,
waiting for
that's Scott
Thorin.
Carlson. No, okay, I'm
Greetings.
right on my screen, I'm right next to Scott Carlson.
Nice.
Oh, okay,
Who
not
I
on my
met.
screen.
I don't know if you remember meeting me, Scott.
Of course I do.
You do? Oh my gosh. Down at the park playing frisbee until the lights went out.
Absolutely. Or
That's
the
it.
sprinklers
That
came
is
on.
That's
That
it. Oh my
that's
God.
that will be in part of my discussion later.
Yeah. Oh, good. That's
That's how
great.
everyone knows Scott, playing frisbee.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how many knew me.
I learned how to
Okay.
play frisbee really well after Len and Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
That's-
smoked me late in life at frisbee golf, I must say.
Yeah.
I insisted on playing with a standard frisbee, and he played with a driver and a putter. I mean, he had like six
Yeah.
or seven different frisbees, and he did win the day.
Wow.
So there is something to be said for those small frisbee.
That's what I have.
frisbees.
That's what we're rocking these days. Is all the little small ones.
My son-in-law gave me some. I have some right up here. I'm out in my tough shed with all my toys and tools, and all my crap. So it's kind of a mess. But
Are you in your she shed?
yeah. It is, yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
That's harsh.
I'm just kidding, Phil. I haven't seen Phil since what? I was 16, 17 when we worked at Chi-Chi's.
84, Eva.
Oh my
1984.
goodness, I was 16.
Can you believe it?
I can't believe it's that long ago.
Did you
in
guys know I
Anthony's-
got fired from Chi-Chi's?
Did you?
No, I
For
did not
what?
get fired. No,
So
no.
you
They
do you
wanted me
remember,
to stay.
was Jerry still the
Yeah,
boss when you were
Jerry
there?
Yeah,
Bell.
Jerry Bell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I dated Kim, his daughter.
Oh, well, that's
Wow.
all it took.
That's all it took. He did
Oh my
not
God.
like me.
You know, up until I reconnected with Len on Facebook, Eva, I did not know you guys knew each other.
Oh, you didn't?
Nah,
Oh,
not because
well,
back then I'd never made the connection.
oh.
We're all blabbering away. I think Terry's there.
I know. Well, I think we're waiting for Thorin still. I really don't want to start without him.
Yeah.
Any clue, Yvette, or Danielle, on when he's going to be popping in?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Should I just go ahead, or what do you guys think? It's up to you two. I really hate to go ahead. It is his dad. So let's just give
does
him a few
anybody-
more minutes.
Does anybody know if Laura confirmed?
Laura? Oh, your
Is this-
sister? No, I don't know.
This is Owen. I don't think she was made aware of it.
Okay.
Scott, did you have a sister named Laura?
You're going back into history now. No, my sister's name was Linda. She was 3 years younger than I was. However, in the same class I was in was Laura Carlson, and she received a scholarship to go to Berkeley as an artist.
I knew her. Yeah.
She was considered like the snake lady.
Yeah.
She dated a very good friend of me and Leonard's. His name was Warren. Always wore a black leather bomber jacket in the smoking area. We were always cool with Laura. Oh, I just moved my desk. Laura's good people.
Yeah.
She had a rough time after psychedelics, but she's still online as her new name is Desmond L. Threm. If you go on my Facebook page, you can find Laura Carlson.
Oh, wow.
She's under a pseudonym.
Okay. Yeah.
But she's still in San Francisco. She lives in the Tenderloin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
Oh, how
remember
cool is that?
when I go to Berkeley, I remember having an English class with her with Mrs. Portnoy in 11th grade in Saugus.
Yeah.
And she would come in decked out with Pink Floyd pins and stuff.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
fringe jackets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
she was an
maybe-
outcast in junior high. She was
an outcast
one
in
of a
grade
kind.
school.
Yeah.
I was with her since grade school, and she'd always been into bugs and snakes, and I was always
Did you
cool
go to
with her.
Rosedale?
Yes, I
I'm sorry?
did.
Oh, so you were with her in elementary school. I
Yeah.
didn't know her till junior high.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no,
Well,
I've known her
Laura's
since
one of
the
a kind.
beginning.
Yeah.
So anyways, well, Thorin, can one of you guys text him, Danielle or Yvette, and see when he's coming? And I think a lot of people may have, because the emails I sent out, since I'm using my boss's account and it says our museum is inviting you, I wonder how many people just deleted it.
Oh.
So that's why I tried to send everybody messages and resend emails and at the last minute.
Yeah, I got a hold of Bobby Weeks, and he at least has the link.
Okay.
Also, George Wilson has the link, but his mother-in-law's in town,
Okay.
who's in her 90s and on her way between New York and Florida. So he may or may not attend. And
Okay.
I took the background buzz off so you could see that Bill was here. So
Hi, Bill.
I'm kind of in charge of, I guess, the Virginia branch of Friends of Leonard.
That's a great way to put it.
I met him. I met him when I was there.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, I'm here.
Oh, there is. I heard George.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the voice of one George Wilson, the man, the myth, the legend, international polo star, and beekeeper that Leonard spent much time with. So if you ever saw Leonard's Facebook page and saw him playing with bees, that was with George.
They will be seeing them in the presentation.
Oh, good.
Oh, excellent.
There he is.
There
A
I
pleasure to
am.
see your face.
Okay. Well, what time
He
is it?
too.
I got Doran's
It's
number.
20
Let me find
after.
my
Do you guys
phone.
think we should wait much longer? I don't know what to do.
I'm off today, so
Danielle,
I should be all right.
I know. I don't know what to do. I think your mom's I think Yvette's texting him.
I sent him a text.
Okay. Well, what do you think, Yvette? What do you think I should do? We should just wait a little bit longer? I don't know. Does anybody have
guess it-
dire plans for today or appointments or anything they have to make? Speak now or forever hold your peace if you do.
Hey, Doran. Everybody's wondering where you are on the
Oh.
call.
Well, Scott.
You're bad. Are you an indica?
No, it's not Terry.
You get to your phone or a computer.
know, I
there's some people waiting.
Boost is right there.
And it's
Yeah.
time. Okay. Peace out.
Hold on, hold on. Hey,
He's coming.
Oh.
Oh, there
Oh.
you are.
we're a little dirty. There we go.
No, I've got it. blurred.
Okay.
Mom, you have to unblur yours.
I'm trying.
Yeah, everybody take your effects off. We are being recorded.
Blur my background.
You're good.
Oh, now you're.
No, it's just the light.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got it.
Close the curtain.
Can we go in the living room?
Yeah, I would go in the
yeah,
living
why
room.
not? Why not?
Look, hold on, we got a technical
Okay.
difficulties. We'll be right back.
It's all good. Well, they know who I am. So everybody that doesn't know who I am, hello and welcome. And I hope everyone's doing
All right.
okay this wonderful day.
I got it.
And I appreciate you all showing up. And I'm sorry if there was any confusion, like I said, with the email about our museum. I wanted to make sure I had ample time, and my boss's account is an open account. So he said we could use that. So that's what we're doing. I'm just going to ask that while everybody's speaking, if everybody could please mute themselves if you want to talk, that way we just don't interrupt the speakers. And we have a few speakers, and I'm going to attempt to do a slideshow presentation. Hopefully I can get it up, and I hope that didn't come out right.
That's what he said.
Hopefully I'll be able to put it on Zoom. And I think that's about, I'm Eva. I'm Len's friend from California. I grew up with him and Scott and Yvette. And so I've known him for a million years. And I think I'm going to hand it over to his friend, Scott Carlson, his best friend. And go ahead, Scott.
Okay.
And if everybody could just mute themselves, I'd appreciate it.
Since we're recording, I'll try to talk for perpetuity as well. Let me begin with peace be with you all. I was initially asked to participate in this perhaps as a priest or a reverend, and I'm going to lay all that aside and just memorialize and celebrate the life of Leonard. I think he would have preferred it that way. So this is what I will say of God. The truest words I've ever spoken were the morning of Leonard's passing, when Thorin called me, and he was who told me that Leonard had passed. And my first response to him was, Leonard is free from pain, he's free from suffering, and a future of battling spindle cell carcinoma and going down that path was taken away. And that is a grace. And I hope it was comfort in the moment, Thorin. It sure seemed like it was. But Leonard was in that moment freed from pain eternally, until he chooses to come back down here again for whatever reason. So that's all I want to say about God here, because Leonard and I spoke of God and philosophy many times. And later in life, he was much closer to I'll call him an agnostic, more so than anything else towards the end. But if there was an inkling of atheism there, it was specifically atheism against organized religion. So I'd like to leave all of that aside and speak about Leonard, the person, the man, and my friend. So I've got a few stories to tell. And I hope as this goes on, we recall the highlights and the best parts of Leonard's life, because that is how we should remember him. I know that his passing came as a surprise and an unfortunate time for many. It was unexpected. We were all of the mind that Leonard was going to be home like the Friday before he passed. We were all caught off guard. I'm sure each and all of us have had our battles with God over what the hell happened and why. In all the cases where I found myself mad at God, it was really that I was mad at myself for not being on the floor, not being in his room, and not being his nurse in the room while he was in the hospital. One thing I would like to share with everyone, after a couple of years of caregiving, every time you have someone in the hospital who's close, they need a full-time patient advocate on the ground, making sure nobody does the wrong things. This was a case of mistaken identity and poor treatment because of mistaken identity. And that's all I will say about that. The grace is his passing was near painless and it was quick. And nothing about spindle cell carcinoma is going to end well. So the grace is Leonard was saved from pain and suffering, and the Band-Aid was tore off for all of us quickly, that we might heal instead of suffer a long process. So that's all I have to say about his passing. I'd like to talk about Leonard's life. I met Leonard in 1976. I was 11, he was 13. God didn't see fit to give me any brothers, so Leonard was one of my first older brothers. And by like 1978, and there's people on this call that can attest to this, I preferred to sleep at the Lund's house, on the floor, on the couch, anywhere, rather than go home. And it wasn't just because of Leonard. There were all these beings in this house that were the most honest, direct, smart people. I mean, Leonard's mom and dad, Betty and Larry, they were kind, but boy, could she take you down with the crack of her tongue. I spent so many meals with Matt in hysterics and Owen on the floor. It was the family I wanted to be part of, because they engaged each other at a level most people in my life have not. And I wanted to be part of that family rather than to be where I was. So for me, Leonard was a big brother. And for an 11-year-old, having a big brother that's got 2 years on you that can talk to you about what's coming up and how to deal with what's happening is invaluable. And Leonard was that to me. The things that I remember about Leonard that were unique to Leonard, most of the people on this call are old enough to remember ABC Wild World of Sports. And they used to go down to Acapulco and do this cliff diving contest. And without fail, all the Mexicans down there always did a swan dive. They went in head first. All the Americans down there, they all did flips, but the bottom line was they went in feet first. So Leonard was on our diving team. And if I remember correctly, it was Ken Barnhart, Stephen Sills, Derek Hughes, perhaps some others, but Leonard was the same way with the dive. He was a swan diver. He had the perfect swan dive. None of us could touch his swan dive. Now, he couldn't win any contests because he didn't do any dives with difficulty, but he perfected the swan dive, just as the Mexicans perfected the swan dive in Acapulco. There was no other way really to dive that cliff other than to go in how the indigenous people did. So I'm sure that all of you have heard throughout your experiences with Leonard, it's the principle. So within his diving career, there was a principle that he honored for perfection. He sought perfection in the swan dive rather than distraction from a myriad of other things that could be done. And it was beautiful every time he dove. In a similar circumstance, playing Frisbee with Leonard at Santa Clarita Park, we were fortunate enough to have years where we could play Frisbee. As soon as the baseball guys were done, we had the park until the lights went off or the sprinklers came on. Leonard learned how to throw a perfect throw that anyone on the other side could do a variety of tricks with. And it just can't go without mention that Leonard was one of the best Frisbee players I ever came across ever. And it was a pleasure to be on the receiving end of somebody who knew how to throw. Again, with principle, he didn't do any fancy stuff. He learned how to throw precisely. And that is a gift. Much appreciated. Another thing that Leonard was a big brother. He was a big brother to two of the people on this call, and I'll let you speak to what it was like being in a room where three brothers grew up together. I wasn't part of that, but I saw him be a big brother to me. I saw him be a big brother to many. In particular, back in those days, a lot of people started playing Dungeons and Dragons. So before there were tech nerds and dweebs and geeks, there's always been awkward boys who wished for friends and guidance who were not cruel. Leonard was that. He used to master Dungeons and Dragons game and be the wizard, but all were welcome. All were encouraged. I'm sure he was a shit to be under on occasion, but Leonard helped foster people that others would not talk to or others would disregard. He was the same with many people from Bowman. If you went to Bowman, it usually meant you didn't fit into the strictures of the public school system. So many of the people that went to that school had just been taken away from all the friends that they had known since grade school, and they were now in a strange place and treated differently. Treated better by the teachers, most certainly, but kind of looked down upon by the people still not at Bowman. So Leonard had remained lifelong friends with almost everyone he encountered at Bowman. I have not seen a a social engagement or the ability to keep track of people like Leonard's from almost anywhere else. And so for all the people that Leonard was a big brother to, I just hope they remember him well and remember the positives that he brought to life, because he was there for many. Leonard was a scholar. I don't think I know anyone else who was more well-read than Leonard. I don't always agree with what he read, who the writers were, what the philosophies were. However, honestly, in more than a half a century on the planet, no one I know that I interact with daily read more books than Leonard. And the beauty of it was, he was always willing to be a mentor and teach what he knew to anyone willing to listen. And you had to be willing to listen. He wasn't necessarily the nicest of teachers, but he was sometimes the most direct route to ground for knowledge that you didn't have. So we used to say you're a gentleman and a scholar. Leonard was far from gentle, but he was a scholar, and he was a mentor that shared his knowledge freely with anyone who would listen. That's a good thing. I don't know if anybody here still remembers this. I just wanted to mention, Leonard was a DJ in the Santa Clarita Valley for, maybe a hot minute, but it was long enough that he had a following. You could call Leonard on a date and go, dude, play Foreigner. And he would. If you could do that anywhere in LA, you were in like Flynn. But Leonard's music knowledge was also encyclopedic. He went down paths most people still have not been down. So his, it's not dexterity, but his bandwidth for storage of the arcane is greater than anyone I know to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved him for it.
Mm-hmm.
I love him still. The last thing I want to say, I've thought about this a lot. What is the lesson or the lessons that I'm just going to personalize it. Here's a lesson I've learned from Leonard. You can never judge a book by its cover. If you look at the images of Leonard over the last 6 years, other than the happiness he expresses with Terri, these are not pretty pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people judge a book by its covers. Leonard was victim of being judged by his cover by professional health caregivers. And some of the decisions they made based on their impressions of his physical appearance resulted in things not going as expected. But I have better stories about that. Some of you may know Leonard got to drive across country with me in a moving van. One of my best friends here in Virginia, his parents had passed. And so Tim and Michelle flew to California, packed up their parents' house. I drove the van across country, and Leonard got to come the whole way. We stopped in Arizona, we stopped in New Mexico, we went down in Texas to see, I think her name was Teresa, maybe Terri. We took pictures in Happy, Texas. We went to Memphis, and I swear to God, from the time we hit Tennessee on, everybody that saw Leonard thought he was Willie Nelson. I'm not lying. We were walking down the streets of Memphis and got called out by a live performer. Willie Nelson's in the house. And Leonard did walk in and start singing Got My Mojo Rising over the mic with this guy because he looked like Willie Nelson. When I took him to the Willie Nelson Museum, people were freaked out that Willie Nelson was in the Willie Nelson Museum. Everybody that was buying tchotchkes and trinkets and stuff. So it all depended on what your vision, judgment, whatever of Leonard was. And the last thing I'll say is, so when Leonard first landed here, after much time with his mother before she passed, he was as broken as I've seen a person. So I took him to a yoga retreat. I joined what some people might think of as a cult, but really what it is a bunch of white people in the 70s followed a yoga instructor into Sikhism. So one of the tenets of Sikhism, those are the guys that wear turbans, but they're not Muslim. They have their own religion. They're part of India. Part of their religion is they don't cut the hair on their face. They don't cut the hair on their head. You don't touch anything that God's growing in you. That's just part of their faith. So when I took Leonard to this Satnam Fest, there were literally hundreds of unshorn people there wearing head coverings. And Leonard fit right in. I bought him some yoga clothes that made him more look the part. Everybody wears white there, so it's not hard. But when you eliminate the things that tend to segregate us, Leonard fit right in amongst the unshorn Sikhs. And we chanted and did yoga and ate all the same food 3 times a week, 3 times a day. But on the drive home, Leonard looked to me in tears and said, Scott, there's never been that many people who were that nice to me all at once, ever. And it's just because he looked like one of them. So at least in my reflection over the last week as to what to say, the lesson of Leonard is never judge a book by its cover, because he's so much more than that cover shows, as are we all.
Wow.
So that's all I'd like to say. I'll stay on all night and talk stories about Leonard, and I would love to be a forklift for you all, because none of us expected this. None of us got to say goodbye the way we wish. But he's gone from here and free from pain. Really, all that matters now is how we each all move on from here and take what we've learned in our interactions with Leonard and use them. Keep saying his name. Keep telling stories about him. We're all here to tell the last person tells a story about us. And who knows the next Leonard being born, somewhere within the Lund chain somewhere, he may be right back down here and taking the next step on his path. Because I'm sure now he wasn't done. He was, and I was telling Terry's folks before we all started, Leonard was the happiest I've seen in 20 or 30 years. In the last, I honestly don't know if it's 5 or 6 years, but since Leonard left our house and became one with Terri, he's never been happier. And it's been a blessing to see. And so I'm so glad that Leonard went out in love and happy. And I have nothing but 100,000 thank yous for Terri for being
Mhm.
his love at the end when he wasn't pretty. He was still beautiful to me. But most people didn't see him as I saw him. So with that, I will turn it over to whomever is next, Eva.
Okay, well, thank you, Scott. That was beautiful. And don't forget, you promised to take his place when it comes to telling me quit dating losers. So don't forget.
Eva, if you're not a lesbian by now, I don't know what's stopping you.
It's getting to that point, Scott.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? Okay, and I think we're gonna have James say something. Terry's dad would like to speak a little bit. Go ahead, James.
Can you hear me, Eva?
Yes, we can.
Okay, just a short little essay that we put together the last couple of days. Dear family and friends, my wife Dorothy and I last saw Len, our son-in-law, and our daughter Terri when they visited California for the passing of Len's father in July of 2021. We enjoyed visiting with them for a few days, and we could see that Len was a warm and genuine person. And my wife and I both noticed his strong love for Terri. And now a word from my wife, Dorothy.
My first impression was Willie Nelson also. But I do want to say, did you read this? Len was a good shepherd to Terry's 3 adult children, Chad, Heather, and Brooke. Len was bright. Len was brave. Love and kindness he displayed. Len held his hand out to those in need, warmly caring to all, indeed. He took care of his father and took care of his mother and gave them loving care like no other. Now, Jim has a word to say closing out, but we're so pleased that Len and Terry were so happy together. Choking up.
Really enjoyed your monologue, Scott. Others came first in his eyes of love. Now he's in heaven, so high above. Dorothy and I will deeply miss knowing our son-in-law, Len, this wonderful man. May he rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Dorothy.
We love you, Terry.
Okay, now I think we're gonna have Len's brother speak.
Hi, this is Owen. I hadn't really thought much about speaking tonight, so it's going to be kind of short and sweet. I remember when I was little, always hearing the story about Leonard had come in with scratches all over his back. Mom and Dad were like trying to figure out what the heck happened and how he got all these scratches on his back. Until one day, Mom or Dad, I don't remember which, had seen him outside on the stucco wall corner, scratching his back like my dad used to do in the hallway on drywall. And Leonard raked the heck out of his back on the stucco. But yeah, I mean, the park playing frisbee, Leonard could huck him like no other.
Huck it. Yeah.
Yeah, he could huck it. I played disc golf with Leonard quite a few times, and he just never could quite get the same distance from his drivers and the size of the discs and stuff. And he just could not fathom how, people are able to throw those things 800 feet plus. But yeah, he was like no other on the field with a good sized frisbee in his hand. And I'm probably sure that we played quite a few times, Scott, and maybe some of the rest of you guys at the park. But yeah, he'd always just come home at the end of the day, walking up the street, and after having fun, and
What was it like living in that room with both your brothers? I mean, Laura
I
was
wasn't
like
just
a
in the room
queen.
with Leonard.
Laura had her own room, but the three
Exactly.
of you had to live in your own room. I always thought that was uncool, but who wanted to live with Laura?
Well, I don't know.
Is Matt there?
Matt's back here.
Matt, say a few words. You used to be one of the talkiest people at the table.
I would, Scott, but obviously Leonard loved you better as a brother than me.
I suspect not.
You were the adopted brother.
Right.
You were the one that he wanted to be with more than he wanted to be with us. But that's okay.
Oh, that is not true. Here's what I think the truth was. Your mom was a different person when I was in the house. So if I could have your mom laughing, the pressure was off him.
And you did that quite well, Scott. You did that quite well. And it was
don't think for a minute that he didn't love you guys more than me.
Oh, I know that. We both know that.
No, that was one of our jokes back in the house. Yeah, that would get you laughing when we'd say that.
Yeah, I've got another set of friends that say, "Oh yeah, Scott, he's the guest that never leaves," because I crashed at their house for some time too. It was just always better for me to be where my friends were than to be at home. That's the bottom line.
We're glad that you felt comfortable there.
Hey, we could smoke. How good is that?
Well, it wasn't so good for me. They only
I know. You probably have COPD from secondhand smoke.
Probably. What are you gonna do, right?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my contribution to the second.
No, we love you for it, Scott, and we're glad that he did become a big brother and a mentor for you and help guide you.
Yeah.
Through some of that time, So, yeah, just hard still to think about and deal with. So,
I didn't know how I was going to talk today, all day.
Yeah. Just know your love, bro. Just know that. And it's because of your love and all of our love for Len that we're all here. So,
yeah.
Yelly.
Oh man, hi Uncle Matt.
Hi, buddy.
Hi Bubby. Hi Mom.
Where are they? I don't see them now. Just you.
Just see me?
Yep. I don't see your mom and Thorn yet. They popped on and off, but
They're on.
okay. Good.
I'm
As you
cute.
can see, I love you guys.
We love you too. Miss
Okay,
you guys.
Thorn and Danielle. Danielle, you said you wanted to speak together, so I have you both unmuted. So if you guys want to go ahead.
Bubby, you could go first.
Okay, I thought we were gonna rock, paper, scissors right now.
I'll go
Um,
get a coin.
yeah, I didn't really know what I was gonna say or how I could even speak today, as well as, you know, what you were saying, Scott. I mean, if you know, this whole time I've had a million things going through my head and a million things that I would say and a million things I would tell to everyone. But
Well, open your heart and let the words pour out.
yeah. You know, it seemed like I had it all planned out, but I
Yeah,
don't.
that's why I just went to notes, because trying to get down everything you want to say is impossible. Start
Yeah.
speaking and love will flow.
Yeah. You know, that was my dad, and he has helped me become who I am in more ways than I could even mention. I mean, every developmental moment, you know, that happened in a lifetime, you know. A lot of times we may have been a little angry at each other sometimes, but you know, that's natural, I believe, you know, and never stayed that way. And I could never thank him enough for everything he's done. Every time I needed him, anytime I didn't know what I'm supposed to do, you know, it seemed like it came so easy for him, you know. Where,
Hard being able to give him a call for that advice, huh?
well, I mean, anytime I was looking for an answer, you know, I'd be searching myself and it would seem almost impossible. Whereas, you know, he would have a relatively sure and smart and, you know, compassionate way of going about things that just seemed to come naturally for him. And you know, I don't know if everybody had the same experience with that, but that's what he did every day.
Of course, everyone has the same experience. We
Yeah.
we didn't listen to our dads, and yes, it's stupid the way it's played, but with age comes wisdom. He didn't know the answers to your questions at your age, but
Yeah.
with 20 to 30 years more perspective, it's much easier to provide guidance. But when you were, I remember you specifically when you were 14, you were not much interested in what Leonard had to say.
Not at all.
Neither was I when I was 14.
Right. Right. It's awful.
Yeah,
Because he got the right answers that we didn't want to listen to.
Yeah. Hormones.
anyways, I miss him all the time, and I guess that's all I gotta say.
Now it's my turn.
I don't know how old I was when my mom and Leonard got together.
6 or 7.
6 or 7. Yeah. So I was little. He was something. I
Tell
loved
the
him.
story about the horn.
Oh my God. Well, other than, the swimming, him teaching us, me and my sister, before Thorin came along, we were his kids,
You are still his kids. You've always been his kids.
You got it, yeah.
He was so
He
proud of
taught
all
us
of you.
He taught us everything. Taught us to dive. But that stubborn old man, he was funny. He had a horn, a big horn. He was trying to teach me and my sister how to blow. He blew it so hard his tooth fell out. Oh man, you were there. I know you were there. He was so pissed. It was at the Plum Canyon condo. And I know you lived with us there, and he freaking blew that thing and his tooth flew out, and he was so pissed at me and Brittany. He was, because we were standing there laughing, but we were like 8 and 6 or something, laughing at him because his tooth fell out, and he was searching frantically for this tooth. And he couldn't. Well, he ended up finding it, but it was funny. He just was so mad. But it was funny. And then teaching us to change a tire, fix the drywall because we kicked it with a shoe. We were so mad at him.
You broke it, you fixed it.
Because we drove it over. Everything. And then my baby brother was born, and then I really got to see him be a dad. And learn and grow. And I don't know, I can't talk.
You're talking beautifully.
I miss him a lot. We were supposed to be cancer together.
Well, he did, and you will. It wasn't cancer that got him.
Thanks,
That's
Danielle. Honey, I'm not going to put you on the spot anymore. Okay. You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Then I think we're going to have Terri say a few words, please. Terri, if you could unmute.
Everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So back in 2012, our mutual friend, Aaron Monroe, who's not on the call tonight because he said he couldn't get here if he had to work. So
because he's Aaron Monroe.
Yeah.
You said that, not me, but that's okay. It's being
okay.
recorded.
You'll see the video.
Right? Introduced us. Len was a very unique guy, and I'm really grateful that I was persistent on getting together with him. I started thinking Len was a player and we would never meet, let alone get married. For several years, we talked and we texted, I chased him for a few years. It was fun in the beginning. That saying, patience is a virtue. People who are patient are always said to me that I'm sorry, hold on a minute. Patience is a virtue. People who are patient are inherently good, or even that waiting will increase the value of the thing that you have waited for. He also said to me that I was a keeper. I fell in love with him the way he touched me without using his hands. We had a special bond. He would also tell me, I'm not going anywhere. I'm with you. Once we got married, he said, you don't have to change your name to Lund, as he saw what a pain in the ass it was when I changed my previous marriage back to my maiden name, now onto Lund. I wanted it to change it. I earned it. Several times a day, he would ask me, have I told you lately, I love you? It was just the little things that he did that showed me he loved me. He would whistle at me when I least expected it. I have felt his presence in many occasions since he's passed. Last week, I was in our thrift store. I heard an identical whistle. There was no one around but the whistle. It's crazy. We had a great relationship when he quit smoking. I was there for him. We went to stop smoking class together. This was for him. I didn't smoke, but I went with him for support. After he successfully quit, he wanted to give back, and we probably did that for 2 years. He would tell people, if I was able to stop smoking after 43 years, you can too. We were a team. He was that guy who corrected your spelling because words are specific for a reason. Yep, he challenged us, and I get it. I've learned from my mistakes, and I stand corrected. Now, whenever I see an incorrect spelling, I tend to correct. A lot of Len has rubbed off on me too, so watch out, guys. He was smart. He loved reading books. Our bedroom was a library. He built bookshelves to accommodate his books. He wanted to buy more books, and I never said no. The same way, if I wanted something, he would say, well, let's go get it. Hence why now I have 4 Boston Terrier puppies at home. They bring me happiness. It keeps me busy, and that's what I need. Not to mention all the side projects I have been doing within our home. I just wish I had paid attention when he used hand tools and how to work them. Thorn, I get it. Trust me, I wish I would have known too. He always had that answer. Didn't know how to do something. Yep, Dad had that answer. He also had a desire to learn how to brew beer. So we joined a local brew club, Treasure Coast Brewmasters. Len thrived. He also loved spending time with his family. Special bond with his son, Thorin. They would talk almost daily, even though they were 1,000 miles apart. He walked into my kid's life, and Mimi, she was a 9-year-old Boston Terrier. He taught her a few tricks. Quite impressive, actually. So you can teach old dogs new tricks. Hence, I was also talking about Len at that same moment. He was by her side when she was diagnosed with mammary cancer. It was removed, and within 2 years, it came back stronger. It took about 8 months of palliative care. She then had a seizure. I was working on the phone at that time, and I screamed for Len. He came. He kneeled down next to her and consoled her. He was sweating and trembling because he was in so much pain. But he loved her. And knowing that she was scared, he stayed with her until she was okay to get up. And I do have that video. I have played it a couple times on Facebook. Within 2 weeks, he had to put Mimi down. As the mask kept getting gnarly, you know it, Len was there for that too. My daughter, Heather, Len and I held Mimi till she went to sleep. It was so sad. He was sick and tired of being in constant pain in his back rib area where the cancer had eaten away at his ribs. He was a firm believer that bone can grow back, and I believed everything he told me. I had faith he was going to kick cancer's ass. The last PET scan showed no new evidence of disease, so I firmly believed he in fact did kick cancer's ass. But then he got sick with an upper respiratory infection. And the hospital wanted to do an invasive procedure, and Len said no, in fear they would rupture his delicate lung tissue, and then game over. They kept pumping him with antibiotics, not sure what bacteria or fungus was causing his sickness. He always told me if he ever caught pneumonia, that would be it for him. I didn't believe it, and to this day, I still don't believe that's what took him away from us. Len was and always will be my husband. I am his forever wife. He was a father, a stepfather, a brother, an uncle. He was a great man and a friend to many, now gone and out of pain, but never forgotten. I will continue to share Facebook memories and share pictures I have taken of him and us together as a team, as well as Facebook memories. Every day for the last 6 months, he would say, "I'm tired of being in pain." I felt so bad, as there really wasn't anything I could do. His next dose wasn't due yet, and he really didn't want to ask the doctor for a higher strength, as he was afraid of getting addicted. He is no longer in pain. One of his favorite sayings, "Life is too short. Eat the good chocolate, drink the good beer, enjoy the time with good friends, drink good coffee." And that I continue to do because that's what he'd want me to do. My life doesn't stop. My Aunt Joan, she's on the call this evening, so hopefully she'll say a few words. Just think, had I never met Len, I probably would never have met his siblings, Spellman, Larry, Matt, his brother, his wife, Chris, and their son, Ryan. Thorne, the shared son between Yvette and Len, and their shared children, Danielle and Yelly. Eva, our host, and Scott Carlson, the first one that spoke this evening, another pair of solid people. Thank you all for being there for me and your support. Done.
Bless you, Terri.
Joan, did you want to say something? You need to unmute.
Other than I knew Len when I was in the hospital, he was in the hospital, and we texted back and forth. And he made Terri very happy. And I was happy because of that, and Terri was happy. And I enjoyed Len, and Len enjoyed everything. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, well, I am going to attempt to show a short video or slideshow, but before I do, I just want to say to Danielle and Brittany and Brooke and Heather and Chad and Thorne, and he was so proud of you guys. He loved you guys so much. You were all he ever talked about. You were all he ever worried about. Terri, I can't thank you enough for standing by my friend through the hardest time that he had to go through. And he loved you. You brought something out of him that I had never seen before. And Scott, you know he loved you as a brother. You were his right-hand man, the terrible two. And
there were usually more of us than the two, but yeah.
Owen and Matt, and he loved you guys very much. And he often said he wished that you guys could be closer, and his sister as well. So I just wanted you to all know that that's what he would talk to me about when no one else was around, was everybody else, when he wasn't yelling at me for dating whatever loser I was dating at the time. And he's going to be very missed by me, by Scott, by everybody. He was a good man. They don't make him like that anymore. And so with that, I'm going to attempt to show this video. Now let's see if I can do it here. You got to give me a minute because this is my first time doing all this. Hang on. Let's see. And oh, here we are. And wait a second. I gotta get there. Sorry. And share screen. There we are. And let's see. Okay. And we'll see if it works. Can you guys see it? Can anybody see anything besides me?
Not yet.
Okay, just a minute. And oh, there we are. Okay. And hang on. Can you now?
Yes.
And okay, the music's supposed to be playing, but I guess it's not. So I was afraid of that. How's that?
Is that Laura?
Oh, man.
Nobody likes Santa.
Wow.
Moving even.
Oh, sorry. It's gotta go. And there we go.
When did Leonard ride a horse?
Rex Wingle.
There's Laura looking like. Oh, what happened?
Yep.
That was a big jump.
SeaWorld.
You rolling?
Oh, Smokey.
Wow.
Brittany. Oh,
That's a good picture.
It's a great picture.
that hair.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm. Oh, yeah. At some point, somebody that attended Ren Fair with Leonard needs to speak about that experience.
Wow.
I never went with them.
Mm. Dang.
All right.
That's cool.
Oh.
Is that Big Bear?
Yeah, that's Big Bear.
Is
That's at the hospital when Thorin was born in the ICU or the NICU.
Clean shaven. That was a minute. Hey, there's that girl that was in Texas. He is beyond the point. Oh yeah, the fireworks display.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, is that Stern?
Stern. That's Stern.
Mhm.
Few pictures of that guy exist.
Mm-hmm. Ah, there they are.
That was a good day.
Mm-hmm.
That was the car he took from me. I gave to him freely.
That was a fun car.
Jesus, the dude, and Cheech and Chong. That's Jesus to my left here.
Oh. Wow.
That's my yoga instructor, Sakatar.
That's cool. Wow.
Happy Texas. With a fez.
There you are.
Bill's here. George is online. So this is where everybody dressed like Leonard and he fit right in.
Oh, that's perfect.
I'll just say Jesus was a socialist.
He was the best tour guide in DC.
Jesus?
We had
No.
so much fun. Hi, baby. Uncle Len.
Oh, there's his beekeeping suit.
The hat. Yeah. That's
He had a moped in the 70s. That brought back some memories when he got that one. That was him singing Got My Mojo Rising in Memphis, Tennessee.
yeah.
He loved that garage that you let him build, Terri.
He had a totally different smile after he met Terri.
Yep. Now, Owen, I think you're doing a better Larry impression than Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Garage Pizza where you're at right now, Terry?
I recognize that. Mhm. That's a great picture. Mhm.
Oh, there's a zippy shirt.
Who has it now?
I don't know who has that shirt. That's a Grateful Dead shirt.
Good picture.
Facebook jail. Him in Facebook jail.
Complained about that a lot.
Hey, Scott, that bumper sticker was given to him by the vice mayor's wife of Sebastian.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had my heart sunglasses.
He's laughing now.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a good one.
That's a better one. That's good too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of nice pictures.
Wow.
Handsome man.
Should have been a
Yeah,
sound.
yeah, he is. Both
Oh,
you guys are.
Yeah.
That was a good day.
Say something.
Yeah.
Oh, and is that the girl from South America with the crazy sauce?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Roxy with the crazy Peruvian green sauce.
I know where that is. That's Venice Beach.
It is. Oh, wow.
Eva, that was fantastic.
Eva,
Yes. I'm
Yes,
sorry
yes,
that the music didn't come through on that, but
It was better without it either.
Eva, can you hear me?
yes, I can, ma'am. Hello? Who was asking if I could hear you? Oh, Danielle.
No.
Was that you asking? Terry, was that you?
I was asking if you read my math.
I can't, you're
My
breaking up.
daughter would like for me to read what she would, my daughter Brooke would like for me to
Oh,
read
your
this
daughter
book
Brooke wants
that
to
I haven't
read.
even read through yet.
Oh, okay.
She wrote something and I haven't even read any of it. I haven't proofread any of it, but
Okay. Well, Terry, you're breaking up real bad. Terry, your voice is breaking up real bad.
Sorry.
Okay, you ready? Can go ahead and read what Brooke wanted to read, or is it Heather?
No, Heather's not on the call.
Oh, okay. Is Brooke on the call? She can read
She
it.
is.
Oh, well.
She says she's upset and she's crying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to thank you.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to thank you guys for speaking, because not only did it make me smile, but I know it made you all smile and think of Len, which was why we are all here today. What was said was beyond truthful, especially about Willie Nelson. That made me chuckle and beautiful, but it made me realize he had and want to thank you guys for speaking, because not only did it make me smile, but I know it made you all smile and think of Len. which why we're all here. This is a duplicate here.
Brooke's on the call if she wants to read it.
She did.
Okay.
Okay, but made me realize that he had compassionate heart for the first time he walked into my life. He loves bees, loved being in Facebook jail. He didn't give me life, but he gave me the life I needed. I met Len, I think in 2016 when I was 16 or 17, going on 25 during my immature years, and we butted heads. Sound familiar, Yelly? We with him, which landed me to where I am today. I am grateful for everything he said and taught me. He always
Oh no, frozen frame.
Okay, you're frozen, Terri.
You'll come back.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Do I finish?
You're frozen. You froze.
Sorry. It's hot here. I'm in my car.
No, it's
Let's see here. I'm grateful for everything he said and taught me. He always put others first, but the thing I seen and was my favorite is that his never-ending love he gave to every soul, never judging a book by their cover.
Yeah.
Him is his natural element, brewing beer when I drove over one day, bumping my music, mowing my mother's yard and my stepdad's yard because I knew Len was sick. Len always put others first, but I always put him first, especially when I would go over to my mom's house by making sure he was fed, making him soup or sandwich. I made him and mom lunch one day and gave him something hard. I think it was carrots, and my mom told me he won't eat that as I was confused why, but I found out he had dentures. Never knew that. I'll forever miss that. What's up, Buttercup? When Len always read, he was a smart, knowledgeable, and respectful man that would teach you anything if you were willing to learn. I wish I paid attention more. That was me speaking on that one. It taught me how to put a string on the weed eater, helped me with mental health, and I'll forever be grateful for everything he's done for me. Thank you, compassionate heart. From the first time he walked into my life, he didn't give me life, but he gave me the life I needed. I met Len, and this is all duplicate, I believe. Looks like this is all duplicate. Okay. Thank you, and I wish I could say more, but I'll keep it short. That was Brooke. She's on.
I know. I was going to ask her to speak after the video because you said she wanted to read a poem or something. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave I believe the chat's open, isn't it? For anybody to chat if they want. And other than that, I'm just going to thank everybody for coming. And Len was a good guy, and we're all going to miss him. And if anybody wants a recording, you can hit me up as soon as I figure out how to get it off this thing, and I'll send it out.
I want one.
Okay. And other than that, if anybody wants to say anything,
I think Phil does.
Did everybody bring their craft beers to toast to Len?
Hold on, I think Phil has some words to say.
Oh, okay.
But of course I brought a craft beer. Are you kidding?
Okay, I brought domestic, but you know, he hated my domestic, but
it's the principle.
Yeah, I know it. And did Bill have something he wanted to say?
Well, it could have been Bill. It could have been Bill.
It was.
But I know Phil has his hand up.
Okay, so, Phil or Bill? Phil, go ahead then.
Phil with the PH. Phil with his hand up.
You need to unmute, Phil.
And go first.
Phil, you need to unmute. Okay.
Did I do it?
Yeah,
yes.
You're good now.
Oh, my voice is on? Okay.
Yes.
You know, God, just hearing everybody, it just hits you. It just hits you here, you know, knowing Len for so long. I lost touch with him, and then we reconnected on Facebook, which is how I reconnected with Eva too. I will go on and on and on, start and tell my life story, but boy, Scott really hit it off. You know, I was listening to Scott at the beginning, and Scott really hit a lot of the points that I'd been thinking about in anticipation of the Zoom meeting. Number one, just going over to his house there on Guadalamar, and his family is so great. You know, Owen and Matt, and I remember going over there, and Len would be making dinner, and it was almost always tacos. There's tacos, and I got to eat a lot of tacos at that house.
That's all he knew how to make.
And Len and Matt and Owen and I would wrestle on the carpet. I remember that. Lots of books. Everybody was reading a book, and they had a huge, just lots and lots of books. And so I wanted to just say, yeah, I remember that. Also the music, he had such a knowledge of all the that rock, the rock genre at the time, which was also great, and playing Frisbee, and he was also, I had an older sister and a younger sister, and Len really was, just like Scott said, he was that first older brother that I wanted and kind of needed. And he really helped me out with that a lot too. So I wanted to say that. I wanted to say also, when I first saw Thorne's picture on Facebook, I went, oh my gosh. It's like Len when he was young, you know. I met Len in Santa Clarita Park, probably June, July of 1981. And I was walking, we had a big Great Dane, and I was walking my Great Dane down there, and I got to know him, and he was wearing a bandana. He had that red bandana, or he had a bowler hat or English driving cap on. And so, you know, I just miss him, and he was really a big influence on my life growing up at that time. I remember we lived up Pamplico on the other side of the hill, up behind Santa Clarita Park, and we moved out to Acton. My parents bought some acreage out in Acton, and at some point I had this 67 Mustang finally blew up on me, and I bought a motorcycle. And I remember Len came up on his motorcycle. He came up on, it was so long ago I forgot, but I remember he looked at me and he said, oh, have you laid it down yet? And I looked at him kind of, no. And he looked at me with that smile. He said, you will. And sure enough, I did lay it down. I didn't get hurt, but I just remember how funny it was, that Len look. He looked at me and said, you will. And so I just wanted to say something, and I sure miss him. I sure miss him. I know Terry's been Terri, I think you've been putting on some of his old posts, his memories posts, and it's just, yeah, it hits me pretty hard. I see those and I love them. At the same time, I realize how much I miss him just through that, you know, just through the Facebook media. So I miss him. I know he's a good friend to so many people, and boy, I just really miss him. I wish I'd been a better friend to him when we were younger and kept in contact. But it was really great to reconnect with him on Facebook and stuff. So I think I just really appreciated listening to everybody else's words too. And I'm out. So thank you for letting me speak.
I see the look in your eyes, friend.
Eva, I wanted to say something if I can.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, Kathy, I'm sorry. I didn't even realize that you were here. I'm so sorry. I didn't even see you.
Well, hello, here I am.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, guys, I wanted to say something because, you know, I grew up in Saugus and I went to Bowman, and I never met Len. I never met him in person the entire time that I was growing up in Saugus and going to Bowman. We traveled in the same circles. I knew Eva. I knew Aaron Monroe. You guys mentioned Stern. That's Terri Ingham's father. Yeah. Terri Ingham was my best friend.
Did you go to Highlands?
I went to Highlands, and I went to Arroyo Seco, and I went to Saugus, and I went to Bowman.
I gave.
Wow. And I know your name, Scott Carlson. I know your name. We knew each other, but I can't really pinpoint.
I can't put it together either. Terri was in my 3rd and 4th grade class. And of course I knew Stern and his
she was
later.
Terri was supposed to make it, but she's not, her health is not good.
Yeah, her
Yeah.
health is not good, but I
Oh.
did just talk to her the other day, by the way. But
I
anyway,
did as well.
you may have known me as Kathy Schaefer or Kathy Gish. I had a couple different names that I went by. My stepdad's name was Schaefer, so I was Kathy Schaefer in elementary school. But anyhow, the reason I wanted to bring this up was I ended up becoming friends with Len on Facebook because we traveled in the same circles, we knew the same people, and I reached out to Eva. I think it was Eva that I reached out to, and I said, "Who is this guy, and how do I not know him?" You know, because we have all these friends in common. So we became friends on Facebook, and you know what? He had an impact on my life. He was just so genuine and so giving, and he would reach out to you even though we weren't close friends when we grew up. He would reach out and be supportive of different things that were happening in my life, and he would private message me. He knew I was having a struggle health-wise, and he reached out. So he was an incredible man, and I'm grateful that I did get to meet him, even if it was through Facebook. I'm just very grateful, and I just wanted to say that.
Thanks, Kathy. Bill, did you want to say something? Scott's Bill?
Scott's Bill.
Scott's Bill? Jesus?
So, yeah, so-
Jesus.
Jesus.
No pressure, man.
Now for the Sermon on the Mount. No, I knew Len through Scott, obviously. Met Len when he came to Virginia. 2015. And I knew right away he was a special guy. I mean, I really did. And somebody just used a word, and I wanted to remember it. Now I can't. Him being like to the point. Len was completely unfiltered. And I think that was the first thing I admired most about him. Everything with Len was unfiltered. What you saw was what you got, you know. And it's funny. So Scott, you talked about Don't Judge a Book by its cover, and someone else, I think, completely separately used the same phrase. And yeah, that was Len, because you needed to take a minute. You need to be willing to take a minute to see past whatever veneer you first saw there, because there was so much more going on. I was honored to know him, and then I became honored to know Terri after they got together, and Terri and I have only kind of met face to face a few times, but I knew that she is a really special person. I knew something of Leonard's journey, and what more beautiful a way was it for him to end his journey with the person that he did. I mean, talk about a blessing, culmination of his life to be in that environment. When the end comes, just testimony to him and to Terri. So that's it. Great guy, and I know a lot of you all are going to miss him, and strength of heart and mind for you all going forward.
Excuse me.
Thanks, Rita.
Okay. And I just want everyone to know that Terry's daughter Brooke was really upset to speak, but the last part she wanted to say was she wrote in her letter was, I think the thing that hurts me the most is knowing my dad didn't give you the love you deserved, but Len did. And Len told me you deserve it. And seeing that and you happy and the love unconditional way he gave me a stepfather who gave me guidance and support, and now he's gone. So Brooke, you're in my heart, honey, and all of you. And just know that he loved you, Brooke, and Heather and Chad the same. You were his kids, just like Danielle and Brittany and Thorin. And so don't ever, he'll always be with you, Brooke. I promise.
And Brooke, you have uncles and you
an
have
aunt.
cousins.
And an auntie now.
Yeah.
So if everybody, we could do our toast now to Len. Scott, do you have some profound kind of toast or words?
I'll use Leonard's words. To man's blatant misconception, considering virginity a virtue. Okay, I'll go with Bobby's recommendation. Bros, comrade.
There you go. And also, Terry and Brooke wanted to let you know that the favorite quote, since Len was always in a book, books are the liberated spirits of men. So to the liberated spirits of men and women,
Yeah.
and to Len, cheers and thank you all for coming. And Terry and Brooke, and you know I love you guys, Vetters and Jelly and everybody. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave, and if you guys would like to, I'm not gonna end the meeting though. I mean, if you guys want to chat, is anybody gonna hang around, or should I end the meeting?
I was wondering if George had any words to say.
Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah, I do. And to put it kind of succinctly, Len was a good old good one. And that says it all. I had the great pleasure of meeting him when he was pretty broke down, and came to Virginia, and had the great good pleasure of working with him and seeing him come back, and then even more pleasure in him having the relationship that he did with Terri. I consider myself richer for my experiences with Len, and this event tonight just reminded me how much I miss him. So there you have it. Thanks so much, everybody.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's somebody else here that many of you should know, but he's been quiet all evening, is Bob Weeks, who lived next door to Leonard, 2 doors down for most of their lives together.
1960.
65?
Moved into the Guadalajara houses in the same week.
Really?
In 1905. Yeah. So I've known him since I was 2.
You win.
Yeah. Owen wasn't born yet. He was born.
I was 6 weeks old or 6 months old when we moved into Guadalajara. Matt wasn't born yet.
Matt wasn't born yet.
Yeah, Matt wasn't born yet.
But other than that, I think I probably do it longer than anyone.
I had this
Eat your
first.
soup. No.
And
On the plate like this.